chicken and eggs. For most Malaysians, they are primary sources of protein. After all, they are widely available and more affordable than meat and fish. In fact, they're so important to Malaysians that the government has put a cap on the selling price of chicken and eggs. And the price ceiling has been in place for some time.
But on Friday, in tabling the budget, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim announced the price ceiling would be scrapped.
A bold move, but one that is necessary.
If you ask us, we prefer the price to be float. But then when the price to be float, right, then the government should not be intervene on the price, right? So we just hope that after the price ceiling removed, I think the price will adjust. When they actually set the price too low, it's not fair for the farmer also.
And it's not just chicken and egg producers who think it's a good move.
Retailer Amir Ali Maidan also agrees.
Good day everyone, I'm Divya Vertani and I'll be focusing only on the demand side of the egg market in Malaysia during 2024 when egg prices increased sharply. In 2024, many households noticed that the price of eggs rise significantly. For example, a tray of eggs that used to cost around 7 to 12 ringgit increased to about 12 to 15 in some areas. While the main causes came from rising feed and transport costs, which are supply-side issues, my focus today is only how consumers reacted to these higher prices. According to the law of demand, when the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded decreases, assuming other factors remain constant. So when egg prices went high, consumers naturally adjusted their buying behavior. For instance, a family that previously bought 2 trays of eggs per week may reduce their purchase to 1 tray, or they may buy eggs less frequently. Others might switch from premium to a grade C to a grade A, which to smaller to cheaper alternative. This behavior represents a movement upward along the demand curve. However, it's important to highlight that eggs are considered a necessity. Eggs are affordable sources of protein and commonly used in daily meals. Because of this, demand for eggs is relatively price inelastic. It means that even when the price increases by 9% to 12.5%, the quantity demanded may only fall by a small percentage, perhaps 5% to 8%. Consumers may complain about the higher grocery bills, but they still continue buying eggs because there are limited substitutes that provide the same nutrition at the same cost. From the demand from different income groups perspective, lower income households tend to be more price sensitive. When egg prices rise, these households may cut consumption more significantly or substitute eggs with a cheaper protein option such as tofu. On the other hand, higher income households are less affected and may continue buying eggs with little or no change in quantity demanded. This difference shows how income level affects the demand responsiveness, even for necessity goods. Let's talk about the government intervention from the demand perspective. To address the rising prices, the government considered measures such as importing good eggs and providing subsidies. From a demand side viewpoint, subsidies effectively reduce the price paid by the consumers. For example, if the market price of a tray of eggs is 15 ringgit, a subsidy of 3 ringgit would reduce the consumer's out-of-pocket price to 12 ringgit. When consumers perceive eggs as more affordable, quantity demanded increases. Households may return to their original consumption level, improving food affordability and easing pressure on household budgets. This also helps protect unsafe communities who rely heavily on eggs as a basic food item. Similarly, eggs imports can help stabilize prices. When prices fall due to increased availability, consumers respond by demanding more eggs, moving downward along the demand curve. However, from the economics perspective, if subsidies are maintained for too long, consumers may overconsume eggs or waste food because prices no longer reflect true market scarcity. When prices are artificially low, consumers lose the initiative to adjust consumption based on real economic conditions. In the long run, this can weaken the market signals and create inefficiency. To conclude, from the demand perspective, the increase in egg prices led to reduction in quantity demanded, consistent with the law of demand. However, because eggs are necessity with relatively inelastic demand, consumption did not fall sharply. Government intervention can help ease consumers' burden in the short run, but if not carefully managed, it may pull out the consumer behavior and disrupt the natural balance of the market. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Sana Hazika, and tonight we will take a closer look at the supply side of egg market in Malaysia. Now, eggs are not just our breakfast favorite, they're one of the most important and affordable protein sources for Malaysian households. So understanding how they reach our plate is key to understanding food security. First, let's look at egg producers and the production structure. Malaysia's egg supply is dominated by commercial layer farms. These are large-scale operations where thousands and even sometimes millions of laying hens are raised in controlled environments. Smaller family-run farms still exist, but for the majority of eggs come from commercial producers who benefit from economic of scale. However, egg production isn't something that can change overnight. Hens must first be raised for several months before they begin laying, and even then, each hen only produces a certain number of eggs per year. This biological limit means that egg supply cannot be immediately increased just because demand or the price rises. In short, production is steady but not instantly flexible. Next, we will turn to input cost, which play a major role in shaping supply. The biggest cost for egg producers is feed, especially corn and soybean meal. Much of this feed is important, so global commodity prices and exchange rates directly influence costs here at home. On top of that, producers must pay for labor, electricity, transport, veterinarian services, and biosecurity. When these input costs rise, the cost of production of egg increases. This reduces producers' willingness to supply egg at the same price. On the other hand, if cost falls, producers may find it easier and more profitable to expand supply. So behind every humble egg is a stack of bills, spreadsheets, and feed trucks quietly doing the economic heavy lifting. So how does egg supply increase or decrease? In the short run, supply is relatively elastic. Producers cannot suddenly create more hens or double egg production the next week. But in the long run, farms can expand barns, invest in technology, and increase flock size. This allows supplies to respond more strongly to market conditions. Factors such as expectation of future prices, improvement in farm management, or the adoption of automated feeding and monitoring systems can also increase productivity. When efficiency rises, producers can supply more eggs at the same cost, effectively shifting the supply curve outwards. Poultry and eggs are two essential sources of protein and nutrition for people worldwide. Both poultry and eggs are widely consumed in Malaysia, playing a crucial role in the country's food security and economy. The gross domestic product GDP for the poultry industry has steadily increased over the years, showing in Figure 1. The poultry industry has contributed about 0.7% of the share of GDP in 2021. Poultry and eggs are affordable sources of protein and are widely consumed in Malaysia. According to the Department of Statistics of Malaysia, the average Malaysian consumes 41.8 kilograms of poultry meat and 224 eggs in 2020. Both poultry and eggs have achieved self-sufficient rate, SSR, above 100%. 136% for poultry and 114.4% for eggs. As shown in Table 1, the price of eggs and chickens are relatively low compared to other neighboring countries. However, there have been concerns about the supply and the price of poultry and eggs from Malaysia in recent years. Finally, government policies and regulations are a crucial part of the story. Malaysia monitors eggs prices closely because eggs are a basic necessity. Policies may include price controls, subsidies, or temporary import approvals when shortages occur. Food safety and animal health regulations also shape how farms operate, especially during disease outbreaks. These policies aim to protect consumers while ensuring producers remain viable. Striking this balance is essential because without sustainable producers, supply cannot be maintained. In conclusion, the supply side of Malaysia's egg market is shaped by farmers, cost, capacity limits, and government policy. Behind every carton of egg on the supermarket shelf is a network of economic decisions, biological realities, and policy choices working quietly in the background. Now, I will pass it to Ziwin that will be analyzing the market outcome focusing on equilibrium in Malaysia's egg market. Thank you.
A very good afternoon, I'm Eng Siwan and I will be analysing the market outcome, focusing on equilibrium in Malaysia's egg market. After examining changes in demand and supply, equilibrium helps us understand the final result, whether the market is experiencing shortages, surpluses, or efficiencies. So, here's the context-setting fact. Malaysia ranked 13 in the world for chicken egg consumption, with about 16.8 kilograms per person per year. This explains why a change in price quickly affects the entire market. A shortage occurs when the market price is below the equilibrium price, causing quantity demanded to exceed quantity supplied. Earlier in 2024, before supply stabilized, some supermarkets reported empty shelves and purchase limits for eggs, especially lower grade eggs. Consumers queued early while producers struggled with rising feed and transport costs. Low price increased the quantity demanded, whereas higher production costs restricted supply. As a result, there was excess in demand. On this diagram, the price is below equilibrium. The gap between quantity demanded and quantity supply represents the shortage. This shortage sends a clear signal to the market. Prices are too low to balance demand and supply. However, when prices move in an opposite direction, the market will experience surplus. Surplus occurs when the price is above equilibrium level, meaning quantity supplied exceeds quantity demanded. If egg prices rise too high, some consumers reduce purchases or switch to cheaper alternatives such as tofu, which was mentioned by the previous speaker, while producers may still increase output expecting high profit. There will be unsold eggs stocked up and this increases spoilage risk. Here, the excess supply above equilibrium creates a surplus, pushing price downwards. Both shortages and surpluses are temporary because markets have a built-in adjustment mechanism, often described as Adam Smith's invisible hand. When there's a shortage, price rises, resulting in a fall in demand and rise in supply, whereas when there's a surplus, price falls, resulting in a rise in demand and a fall in supply. Prices are adjusted based on the current supply and demand. Consumers and producers respond to price signals, so the market moves towards a short-run equilibrium. This adjustment continues until quantity demanded equals quantity supply, restoring equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Equilibrium is stable because any deviation creates forces that push the market back. In the context of Malaysia's egg market, allocative efficiency improved in 2024 when retail egg prices were reduced by 3 cents following lower production and transport costs. This suggests that egg prices moved closer to marginal cost, allowing consumers to purchase eggs at the price that reflect their true economic value. In the result, eggs were produced and consumed at a socially optimal quantity, with no persistent shortage or overproduction. Productive efficiency was also improved in Malaysia's egg market in 2024. The sharp reduction in government subsidy spending from 927 million ringgit in 2023 to around 100 million ringgit in 2024 indicates that producers were able to supply eggs at lower cost without heavy financial support from the government. This suggests that egg producers were operating more efficiently by using less resources per unit of output and producing closer to the minimum average cost. In summary, Malaysia's egg market experienced temporary shortages and price pressures in 2024. Through price adjustments and cost changes, the market moved toward a new equilibrium where equilibrium price and quantity were restored. Moreover, allocative and productive efficiency were also achieved. However, because eggs are staple food with high consumption, the government chose to intervene and stabilize prices. Whether such intervention supports or distorts market equilibrium, it will be discussed by the next speaker. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, I'm Udiani. Let me start with something relatable. Imagine going to the grocery store and suddenly eggs, something that you buy almost every week, become more expensive or hard to find. You don't really think about demand or supply curves. You just think, why is this happening? And who is going to fix this? This is usually the moment when the government steps in. In simple terms, government interventions happen when prices or shortage start affecting people's daily life, especially for basic food items. Eggs are not luxury goods. They are part of our breakfast, lunch, and even dinner for many families. So when the market struggles, the government doesn't just watch, they act. In Malaysia, during 2024, this is exactly what happened. As Ms. Siwan and Ms. Devra explained earlier, eggs prices went up mainly because production became more expensive. Feed costs increased, transport costs rise, and supply couldn't respond quickly. At the same time, people didn't really stop buying eggs because eggs are still one of the cheapest protein options in the market. In fact, Malaysians consume more than 220 eggs per person per year, which shows how important eggs are in a daily basis. This created tension in the market. Prices were rising, but demand stayed strong. To protect consumers, especially lower-income households, the government introduced price controls and subsidies. What does this mean in practice? Instead of letting egg price fully increase, the government helped cover part of the cost. In 2023 alone, government spending on egg subsidies reached around 927 million ringgit. This allowed consumers to continue buying eggs at a more affordable prices. From the consumer side, life could go on as usual. Family could still cook at home without cutting eggs from their meals. These interventions matter because we can actually see what happens when government do not step in. For example, in the United States in 2022, when egg supply was hit by avian flu and there were no price control, egg prices more than doubled within a year. Some consumers reduced consumption sharply, while others struggled to afford basic food items. This shows that without intervention, price could shock market and directly hurt households. However, intervention also comes with side effects. Because prices were kept low in Malaysia, people continued buying eggs as if nothing had changed. But producers were facing higher costs, and some farmers struggled to keep up the production. So, eggs become harder to find, and this is what we saw temporarily shortage and purchase limit earlier in 2024, as Ms. Ang Siwan explained in her equilibrium analysis. To solve this, the government had another solution: importing eggs from neighborhood countries like Thailand. This increased the number of eggs in the market quickly. When shelves are full again, people stop panic buying and the situation become calmer. Now, here's an important part of the story. Government intervention is not meant to last forever. It works best as a temporary support, not a permanent solution. When costs started to stabilize in mid-2024, the government slowly reduced subsidies. At the same time, egg prices were lowered by 3 cents nationwide, not because of the heavy control, but because production and transport costs had improved. This is a good example of balance. So, in this case, the government's role was like a stabilizer, stepping in when the market becomes stressful and stepping back when the conditions improve. To conclude, Malaysia's intervention in the egg market helped protect consumers during a difficult period, ensure food security, and prevent bigger disruption in the market. Without intervention, prices could have risen sharply, consumption should have fallen, and food stress would have increased, as seen in other countries like United States. But equally important, the government should know when to reduce involvement and allow the market to function more normally again, naturally. The balance is what makes inflation effective, not controlling everything but guiding the market through difficult times.